Hey, good morning. This is Christy Mattoon here with Mind Rewire. I'm so glad you're here. As always, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you have one, I always appreciate that, and it actually helps move these videos around on the platform better. So if you do that for me, I greatly appreciate it. And please subscribe because that always helps move information too. I'm going to talk today a little bit about the American presidential election, the upcoming election. The pandemic, the riots, and all the stuff that's going on that seems to be leaving people in a ton of fear or confusion, or steadfastly knowing what they think they know, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, and how that's just affecting the planet. So we're going to discuss that for a few minutes, and please leave your comments below. Even if you totally disagree with what I'm saying, it's absolutely fine. I am okay with that. You can comment, say what you need to say, get it out there, because as soon as we all start talking together and putting our information together and understanding each other on a different level, I believe more of this stuff will change and we'll come back into a level of coherence, not just like in our country here in America, but around the world. So you have to know that people around the world are watching the American election thing. Everybody's taking a look at this because it's going to affect the world. It always does, and this time probably more so than ever. How it's affecting us in coherence or out of coherence, however you are, in relation to the pandemic, in relation to the riots. You have to be sitting back wondering at this point, what is about to happen? On American ground, in other areas of the world, what is about to happen? And you have to be thinking to yourself at some degree, to some degree, what should I be doing? What should I be doing? Because this is about to change and it's going to hit home super hard, I believe, in what I've seen in my own visions. And it coincides with what other people who are talking about this are talking about. This election, no matter who wins, will change everything. It will change everything. And one side winning, and it doesn't matter who you like, who you don't like. It doesn't matter what you think about either side. The one side that wins, the other side's going to go nuts. It's what happened, and if we're talking about Trump, it's what happened last time he won. The other side went nuts, and it will happen this time on a scale that will shake things up hardcore. It just is. That's the way people are. That's the way this is. It's already being directed that direction with the riots. And no matter what you think those riots are over, they are directly related to this election. All right? You have to know that at this point. And the pandemic too, directly related. And I can't tell you exactly how, I just know that they are directly related. When other people are talking about this, like it's not just here. It's not just me saying this. So look around, get more information, all the time. So what I tend to ask when I look at stuff like this is, where am I in this? Because truly all I can affect is this. All I can affect is me. And if I'm sitting around in fear, in panic, in dread, in anxiety, in depression, whatever your thing is, whether it has to do with all of this stuff or whether it just is something from your life you haven't cleared up yet, you have to start to make a decision to do something. And here's the deal. Not doing something is a decision. Not doing anything is a decision. You have made a set decision and you're sending a message out to the universe when you do that. So you are making a decision by not making a decision. So understand that first and foremost. And right, wrong, or indifferent, whatever decision you make not only affects you, it's going to affect people around you. So making a decision and trying to find a direction, trying to find a path is probably going to do you a better turn than not making any decision at all and keeping your head stuck in the sand or keeping yourself buried in your own junk. Okay? Fear is a top-level emotion. Fear is a top-level emotion. Everything negative falls underneath fear. Everything. If you could take the fear out, there wouldn't be any of the other stuff left. If you weren't in fear, what could you be doing? If you weren't in any level of those other level of emotions, and if you could point it back to a place of fear, and you could move that, what would you be doing? This is a different period of time that we're in. And it keeps changing really rapidly if you haven't noticed. And I'm sure all of you have noticed this. The rapid change and I want to use the word assault on the human condition will either put you to the ground or it will lift you higher than you've ever gone before or probably ever thought you could go. This assault on the human condition is brought to you by the world around you, right? And people talk about the top of the pyramid and this elite group that runs everything. With or without them, we have to change and evolve as humans. They're forcing the evolution. Can you look at it in such a way that you grab hold of it and say, I'm in for the ride? And if you crest the wave, you're going to be on top of it coming out of it. If you don't, you're going to sink to the bottom and you're going to be exactly where you are, if not even lower. And that's just how it works. Throughout history, that's how it works. So think of this whole thing like this is an opportunity. It is a direct opportunity on a spiritual level, as well as every other level you can think of, to grow, master, become more, learn more about you, figure yourself out. Because fear, right, the contrast, drives compassion. But you have to find a way to get there. You have to understand that in compassion, in a true nature of love, and we're going to talk about this in just a second, things will change rapidly. Your perceptions change rapidly. So people come to me all the time and they tell me, I do all these protocols. I have all these certifications, all these protocols. And I did the same thing too. I have the exact same list all these people have, right? Tapping. I don't even go down the list. There's all kinds of stuff that people do. Psych-k would be one of them that I have in my list. I'm trying to think of other ones. I can't even think of them. Ho'oponopono is probably still at the top of my list as far as things that I will pull back out of the treasure box, my toolbox, and use more consistently than probably other things because it goes right along with heart coherence, right? Brain coherence I still teach. I teach people how to do that. Heart coherence trumps it for sure. So people come to me all the time with their list of stuff that they've done and then saying, but it doesn't really work anymore. And it worked only to a level, but now, right, emotion code would be one of those. For a lot of people, and this is just what I'm hearing, I'm not downplaying it. There's still a ton of value in all of these things. I am not downplaying it. Don't misread what I'm saying here. We are in a different period of time. You have to understand this. To the level that those protocols and those methods work, when you turn your own human system on and you work from the internal and start expressing to the external, you hit a different note in all of this. Fear has to leave because you're vibrating at a different vibration. You're in love. You are in the heights of compassion, joy, peace. Peace is a huge one. Gratitude will take you miles without doing a protocol. But you have to learn how to walk in it. You have to find this cadence with it where it becomes who you are, not something you go do. And I keep saying that over and over and over. It is who you are internally, the spirit portion of me, not something I sit down and go do. Why does meditation work? For people who do it consistently, it produces a result. For people who are like, oh, I tried it and it didn't do anything, consistency matters in all of this stuff, even the methods and the protocols. And those fall short because they're missing one essential component. They're missing your spirit. Some of those things never even mention the spirit portion of you and teaching you how to get into it, how to find it, how to touch it, how to realize it and recognize it as who you are, right? Because this is just the shell I walk around in. My representation that I was taught, the programming that I was taught as a child is not who I am. And I'm not going to lie to you, I still struggle to get in and out of some of that stuff too. But in that struggle, I keep recognizing this higher self of me, and turning that on and letting that emerge, right? Letting that come out. So in the middle of all the stuff that's going on, the election, the pandemic, the riots, the bombings, like all this stuff that's going on around the world, even the weird weather patterns, all of this stuff is a combination of our human interaction with our emotional system bypassing our spirit or engaging with our spirit. And you get these wonky vibrations sent out there, and we have set the world ablaze. We have just done it. How do you undo it? You find a constant, consistent, higher vibration, love, peace, joy, compassion, gratitude, and then you teach yourself, you train yourself to stay there. I believe that's where we're supposed to reside anyway. We were not taught that. We came into this world in fear, and we're taught the programming that just keeps reproducing fear over and over and over. So you have to find a way to get yourself into this higher state of vibration. And the only way I know effectively to do that is by meeting your spirit, becoming one with your spirit, becoming one with that internal, eternal part of you, and recognizing it as who you are, and then living through it instead of just like, okay, it's in there, I got that, I understand it, but I'm not going to let it out and let it guide my life, right? There's a difference. Love, let's talk about these emotions for a second. Love, peace, joy, all of these higher level emotions have two different angles to them. There's two different sides to them. There is a side that you're taught that's worldly. I love pizza, I love my house, I love my husband, I love my dad, I love my son, I love my dog, right? All the things you love. I love pizza, I said that one. I love to look at the sky at night, right? All this stuff, outward love. And it gives you this great feeling. So it's a good way to start to access the internal kind of love. The internal kind of love is different. It's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't vibrate the same. It doesn't leave you in the same place. It produces a totally different chemical reaction in your system, and it opens your heart. It opens your heart chakra. It gets the movement of the energy in your system totally changes when you do this. And that whole idea of the movement of the energy centers or chakras, we know that they exist. They're measurable. You can no longer say this is woo-woo. It's not woo-woo. It's real. When I put my hand over somebody's heart and over somebody's, maybe sacral chakra, and I feel two different pulses, it's because they emit two different pulses. And if you don't feel anything, it's because one of them is shut off, or somebody would say, oh, it's blocked. I'm not getting any energy movement there. You are an electric being. It's why we do electrocardiograms. It's why we hook people up to electrical things in their brain, and because it's all done by electricity. You are electricity. When you start to realize that and you start to engage in this system in such a way that you get electrical movement, breath does this. It turns the electric system on, the energy system. It turns it on. It moves energy up and down your body. When I do that, I come into a higher state of being. I come into a higher resonation, a higher vibration. And when you do that, things start opening, things start changing, and people automatically start talking about manifestation. That will cause instant manifestation. I can't tell you the things that are manifesting in my life and things that people would consider bad. Because I sit and I try always to look at things from a higher state of vibration, to me, it's like the perfect answer. Weird things that are going on, but the manifesting of it and then the answers to it happen so quick. It's crazy to me. And it's the walk, it's the cadence. It's not sitting down and doing a 2-hour meditation once a week or once every other day, or, maybe a 30-minute meditation every day. It's a consistent, constant, all the time, right? Scripture says pray all the time. Be consistent in your prayers all the time. And I actually heard a preacher preach on this once years ago. This is out of the Holy Bible. He preached on this idea about being in constant, fervent prayer. I forget where the verse is, but it's something about fervent, consistent, constant prayer, something to that effect. And he goes, of course we can't do that. And I heard him say that, and I thought that's kind of a weird thing to say. If that's what the book says and you guys go by the book, then how does that work? And what I have come to realize is it says exactly what it means. You have to teach yourself, because we were taught to walk in it the other way. You're taught to walk in the anger and the fear, in the gore. You're taught to be in that stuff. We have to teach ourselves to stay in that higher state of love, which would consist of a higher state of prayer, a consistent, fervent, frequent state of prayer. Prayer to me is a constant state of love from my heart space. It sends a direct signal straight to God. It sends a direct signal straight to the universe. It can't help but that is what the system does. This system, my human system, my energy system, right? The whole package. If it's lined up, tuned in, and turned on, that is what it does. When you find that place of love and people start talking about turning on their energy centers like the Merkaba and all these other kind of things, those start coming on. Your pineal gland starts to open, systems start to clean out, your body starts healing, things start working when you stay in that consistent place. But you have to stay in that consistent place. Higher vibration, love, peace, joy, compassion, gratitude. When you do that, guess what's going to happen to this election? I have no fear to it. I'm not worried about it. Whoever wins. And it's kind of funny to me when I look at it, because if that one dude, Biden, wins, oh my gosh, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't even know. It's crazy to me. And if you don't like Trump, like now what? What are the other choices? I have no idea. I just keep going back to compassion, because that's going to keep altering things. All right. The pandemic, you can't be in fear if you're in that high state of love. Pandemic does not scare me. Does not scare me. I actually think I already had it before it even started and I didn't know it. But it doesn't scare me. I have no issue with it. The vaccine, I won't take it, flat out. Make a decision. Not making a decision is making a decision. My decision is no, I won't do it. I won't do it, flat out. The riots, like if it comes to my hometown, if it comes here, then we do what we have to do. But we don't do it in a state of fear. We do it in a state of gratitude and love, and not because of the situation, to the situation, for the situation, from a heart-centered place where I'm attracting and calling in the vibrations of more holy things and outer world things that don't have their physical roots in this planet. And it changes you. It changes the way you look at things, and it changes the way you do things. I hope this gives you a little bit of insight, and not only into who I am, but maybe into yourself. If you sit and open your heart and just find something that makes you feel gratitude and just sit there. Breathe into it. Allow it to move your body internally. And once you've got it from an outside state, so if you're grateful for the sunrise, right? This is a great place to start. Be grateful for the sunrise. Bring the feeling into your heart space, and then get rid of the sunrise. And see if you can maintain the feeling. It's a good way to do it, right? Find something that sends you into the state of love, of unconditional love. Bring it into your heart space, and then see if you can get rid of the imagery and just hold on to the vibration. It's a good way to train this into your system. I hope this helps. I will keep talking about this stuff as we keep moving forward, especially the election, because I believe the pandemic and the riots are going to get way worse, even if they're not, before it gets better. The scare factor is going to go through the roof, trying to scare and trick Americans and people around the world into believing that this is way worse than it actually is. And I believe if we all stay out of fear and we get into coherence and we start connecting with each other, the masks, right? We're disconnected because of the mandates. It's craziness. You got to reconnect even through the mask, right? Use your eyes. Start looking at people. Start connecting with people that way. That, or do what some of the folks I know do and don't wear the mask. Don't do it, right? Make a decision. Not making a decision is a decision. All right, I bless you. I love you. I hope this helps. I hope it gives you some food for thought. If nothing else, please comment below. If it helps you, share it. It will probably help somebody else. I always figure that's a good way to do things. And I will see you again next time. Thanks.